the kind of information do you want from the surface? What do you want? What do you want?
And a very good afternoon to you from the Jubilee Stadium here in Wanganui for the National Junior and Cadet Championships. And of course, it's brought to you by Sky Sport Next. My name is Brent Perry, and sitting beside me is Steve Hartley, President of Boxing New Zealand. Steve, nice to be back with live boxing.
It's wonderful, Brent, and especially considering what we've been through with the COVID thing and government enforced mandates and that. It's been a very, very difficult time for smaller sports.
Well,
it's great to see the kids going.
It's perfect, and we're back again for this session, and of course we'll be telling you more about how it all goes. And let's actually, speaking of session, let's just have a look at what's coming up in this one, which is this evening as we go through. So there's a number of bouts that you'll be seeing, and it is thick and fast. There's no mucking around. Lighter weights, 69 through to around 76. A few of these names might be familiar to those who were following us the last couple of years, and they've all stepped up a grade.
Yep, they start moving through the system. They start off in the junior divisions, that work their way through to youth, well, cadets to start with, then junior, youth, and work their way through the elite division. And the ones that hang in there, they get good care, good attention, and hopefully one day they get on to represent New Zealand.
Well, speaking of which, of course, we have some of the selectors here, which we'll tell you more about as we get into it. But let's get started. And it's with great pleasure I can introduce our ring announcer. He's actually the CEO of Sport Wanganui. Let's get down and get Danny Jonas to actually call our boxers first in.
Boxers to ringside, please. Boxers to ringside.
So these boxers, Steve, have had a long time standing down because, of course, there's been nothing really happening for them.
Oh, it's been hard, and as you'll probably be aware, this event is to find the final selection for the Commonwealth Games team that we hope to send, and it's been hard. It's been very difficult. No international competition bar one event, and so we're up against it. But hey, look, the sport's running. The kids are here, and so that's all good.
And as I say, Danny will be informing us of the boxers and what gym they're actually coming out of. So we'll head back down to Danny to do the introductions.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the first bout for this evening. Fighting out of the red corner, we have Defonte Venasio.
He's an orthodox boxer.
And fighting out of the blue corner, Ahmed Aziz.
What I love about these things, of course, the way in which these guys write up their style. One orthodox, the other says aggressive.
They're quite imaginative, these boys.
So if you're just joining us for the first time this year, you're going to hear us say this, and we're not making any apologies. This is actually the 2021-22 National Junior Champs. Because of COVID, everything's been shut down. So we're probably trying to fit another one in later in the year, Steve.
Yeah, we'll try and bring the October champs on and get back into our normal cycle. It's been a bit of a shame, but we really needed this event for the Commonwealth Games selection, so we're running the thing anyway.
So with this weight here, of course, these are the junior males, 60 kg. They are 2-minute rounds. So if you get knocked down 3 times in the one round, the referee will stop the bout. Safety is absolutely number one. We talk about that a lot.
Yeah, I think the IABA rules have just changed on that, to be honest, Brent. And I'm not totally familiar with it. There may be one more knockdown included.
Well, Ahmed Azizi is in the blue corner, is coming out absolutely all guns blazing. A couple of nice body shots all starting up, taking the wind out of Devontae. Moves his body very well. The thing with the TV too, Steve, is it's quite hard to work out the height of these boys. So
yeah,
you
they're
get
probably
to
bigger than you and I, mate.
Oh, well, that doesn't take a lot, Steve. He's out of Owen is out of the Peach Boxing in Auckland. He's trained by Isaac Peach. He's had a total of 40 bouts. So he's only a young fella.
Yeah, the Peach boys come out pretty hard, eh? They do a lot of hard sparring. The young fella in red, Devontae, he's up against it. He's lacking the experience in that, but hey, you just don't know.
Well, he's only been boxing for a year up against Ahmed, and he's had 2 national titles, 3 Golden Gloves and 3 Auckland champs. So, he's got that ring knowledge.
Yep, and that's a big thing. Big thing. But on the night, you never know. You just don't know what'll happen, eh? That's the beauty of the sport.
So as I say, the Sky Sport coverage is brought to you from the Jubilee Stadium here in Wanganui. Gee, the weather turned it on today. It was 27.6 degrees in town. It's very warm.
Yeah, good old Wanganui. It's a beautiful place. Or should I say Wanganui? You just see a little bit of experience coming through.
Yeah, you can see that straight away. He's out of the Pacific Boxing Academy in South Auckland. both weighing in at 60 kg and about the same height of 1.78 centimetres. As I say, these are 3 2-minute rounds for the first 3 bouts anyway that we get into, up to the 70 kg. Many of these boxers too, Steve, you know, having that stand down during the COVID must have been hard because, of course, not only you weren't allowed to sort of do tea, as we would say, but even be, you know, physically. So how would some of these guys actually keep their training up? Just get Dad to do something in their garage?
It's about it, eh? All you can ask them is to try and keep their fitness maintained. But with, like most sports, there's no training that comes close to competition. And that's what we're lacking. But hey, you know, we're making the best of it. And hopefully we can move forward and get out of this COVID, you know, hole that we've been in. And like most smaller sports, you know, let's just box on and see what happens.
Well, I had to say the first round I gave it to Ahmed Azizi. I thought that he, as I said, he's coming up very quickly. And you say in his profile he's aggressive and he's scoring a couple of nice points nice and early. But Devontae is, I like the way he's got his stance too. He's got that sort of white, slightly taller way.
Yeah, he's getting a couple in. You know, he's boxing reasonably well considering he's lacking in the bouts. It's not a walkover, put it that way. That's the way. Yeah, a bit of an old master's trick there.
He's been trained by Jeff Elia.
Yeah, Jeff's a good coach.
Of course, over the next 2 days, or 2.5 days really, because this is our session number 3. These guys are playing for national titles, and of course we do have the selectors here. Did you say 4 for the Commonwealth?
I think 3 are here in person, and yep, so they've got to do a report.
And we will have a chance to speak to...
Actually, sorry, mate. 4 are here. All 4 are here.
All 4?
Yep.
We've got Ryan Henry has agreed to join us up here at commentary. And he is one of those 4 selectors, taking some time out of being away from the Otago rugby team. What would you say? He's a scrum coach.
Ryan's role with the Highlanders is basically what do you call it? Sort of a mauling and the physical aspects of the you know, fighting for the ball and that.
Has the right credentials.
Yeah, he's
halfway through the second round here. Well, nearly half. I'll tell you what, though Ahmed has got a lot more experience, a lot more. He's had a total of 40 bouts compared to Devante. He's just got 5. He's standing his ground really well.
He's boxing good, you know. A couple of times here he come over top with a counter punch, you know. He's going fine. He's certainly worthy of being here.
So I was talking to the organisers earlier, Steve, and they were saying that you're hoping to be able to put another event on sort of in October. So there's...
Yeah, we'll run the normal nationals, get into our normal cycle. And the Golden Glove's coming up in June, of course, and Queen's birthday. And that's always a very, very popular tournament. In fact, too popular last year. We had to restrict injuries. And
where's that been held this year?
That'll be in, I'm pretty sure it'll be Taupo. Yep.
Right, third and final round on our first on the card. And we'll see whether or not I've given first 2 rounds to Blue. But I've been proven wrong many a time, Steve, where we've ended up with a split decision or...
Yeah, it's hard with boxing. You know, you've got 4 judges all watching from 4 different angles. And, of course, you're watching 4 different bouts at times. And I've watched bouts before where I'm convinced that, you know, my boy or the other boy would have won. But then you watch it on video from a different angle and you think, oh, well, it's a totally different bout. And
of course the scoring goes with the number of punches that these boys are throwing.
Yeah, basically clean body shots. You know, what people have, well, we've got to educate people and boxers, you know, like, this is not a fight, it's a boxing bout. Unfortunately, well, not unfortunately, whatever, but sometimes it turns into a fight. But the idea is it's a boxing bout, and it's a lot more comes into it than just throwing a punch. You know, it's being sneaky, it's working the other guy out, it's a bit of a chess game. And then, of course, these guys have a lot to learn that, you know, that you only score with the clean part of the knuckle, the weight behind the shoulder. And, you know, slaps and that, just like you saw there with the left hand from Red, you know, they do not count in the scoring.
As I said earlier, he's showing a lot of grit.
Yep.
So the first one up, of course, from Peach Boxing is Amid Azizi. And he's got very, very quick hands. Oh, a nice scoring shot there.
Yeah, Peachy's boys, they spar hard. You know, he's got a good gym, and they come physically prepared. And his girl boxers too. He's got a very, very good lady boxer who may have a chance of getting to the Commonwealth Games. It'll be touch and go, but there could be a chance there.
So looking at some of the highlights here on Sky Sport Next. This is our first bout for this evening here at Jubilee Stadium in Wanganui for the National Junior Cadet Champs for 2021-22. And no, we haven't got it wrong. Back into their corners. Judges compiling their scorecards to see where it all goes. We've got a total at this point of 10 bouts this evening, but one is under question at the moment. That's in the super heavyweight, 92 plus kg. And I tell you what, it runs like a well-oiled machine. There's no mucking around. So we'll head down to Danny Jonas for the announcement once the second boxer, Devontae, gets inside. And we'll go for the announcement.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a winner, a unanimous decision, and the winner fighting out of the blue corner, Ahmed Aziz.
Yeah, I felt that might be the way that was going, because right from the outset he just came forward and was not going to step back.
Yeah, tough fight for Devontae, but hey, you know, he'll learn from it. He'll come back next year, and you never know, could be a totally different bout.
And as I say, don't blink on Sky Sport Next, because you'll miss it as we go into our second bout of the night. We'll head back down to Danny Jonas to introduce the contestants for this bout.
Officials, boxers to ringside, please.
Now, we'll warn you at home, there's a group of Cantabrians within a couple of inches of my headset.
Oh, yeah.
And they have been very, very vocal over the last sessions. So we'll do our absolute best not to be completely drowned out by these boys, because they are ready to go. And you'll probably hear it in my microphone. So we'll get the announcement from Danny.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we move on to bout number 2 of the evening. And fighting out of the red corner, Kyan Mooney. And Kyan's opponent fighting out of the blue corner, Edward Richards.
So that's the Cantabrians. Ryan Mooney is out of the Manawatu, and Edward Richards of Canterbury, he's in blue. So he's getting their final instructions from the referee. Both these boys are sitting around that 60 kg mark. Referee's just doing the final check.
Yeah, referee Paul McSherry. Paul is one of our current selectors, so he'll be watching these boys too.
So we're ready to get underway. Referee just saying to them, righto boys, shake hands, take my instruction at all times. Young Mooney in red, Richard Edwards. Both boys are a little similar weights to our previous bout, but just a little bit more height on them as well.
Yeah, a bit taller, which is an advantage to a boxer. You know, you normally got a longer reach and you can stand off and pick the guy off a bit more. But hey, sometimes it clashes. Shorter guy gets inside you and does the damage too.
Yeah, Edward Richards is out of the Wollaston box end, out of Canterbury, saying about 5'8". Likes to be on the front foot at all times, he says, in his bio that he sent up to us. And young Mooney is an orthodox boxer. He's trained by Billy Meehan.
Yeah, Billy's our current national head coach, and he's just come back from Thailand, from the Thailand Open with our elite team. And here they go, so we'll see how his boy goes.
And it's not just one or two of the Cantabrian contingent. There must be around about, I'm sort of guessing, about 30 odd. Finding the noisiest part of the stadium to be able to make it work. Love it.
Yeah, they got to be right behind us.
Bit of a swing and a miss there.
Yeah, it's taken a while to settle into a pattern, this bout.
Edward Richards, as I say, out at Canterbury, trained by Holly, Tony and Lance down there. He's had 5 years of boxing. I'd like to send a shout out to his family and coach. Still seem to be sizing themselves out.
Yeah, I couldn't get a pattern to that one. You can't tell who's dominating or who's doing what or anything at the moment. But the next round will tell. They'll settle into it, and we'll just find out who's got the tricks.
This coverage brought to you by Sky Sport Next from the Jubilee Stadium here in Wanganui. This is just the session number 3, and we're back, of course, tomorrow for 2 sessions, and again on Saturday for 2 sessions. And as we sort of move up the grades and all the finals. Ryan Mooney would like to make a shout out to his mum and sister. So you'll be watching this at the moment. On Friday and Saturday, however, you'll be able to also flick onto Sky Sport 3 because we'll be coming live on that channel as well as Sky Sport Next. Oh, I thought they were sprinting in to actually meet each other.
Yeah, okay.
As you say, they don't come here to come second, so you've only got 2 minutes or 6 minutes in total to try and prove yourself. So, as you say, you don't leave anything behind.
Yeah, no, what we've noticed too, I mean, it may be psychological or whatever, but since we've had TV production, these boys are fighting a bit harder. I think, like mum and dad's at home, the whānau's looking, and everyone's keeping an eye on them, and they're thinking, okay, I better up my game a bit here.
But if you are in the Wanganui area, shoot down to the stadium because as much as it's fantastic watching this live on TV, some of these young fellas enjoy a little bit of extra support like we found down in Porirua, wasn't it?
That was great.
A couple of years ago.
Yeah, the support down that way was great. And Wanganui's always been good. Good crowds, good support.
Edward Richards landing a couple of nice ones, and Ryan Mooney in the red has just been getting a standing 8. So do you think he smells something coming forward here? Young Edward Richards from Canterbury.
Yeah, I think he just suspects he may have a little bit more pop than the red boy, but who knows? You still don't know how it'll turn out. Oh, that was a good shot. Now Paul will be onto that.
Yeah.
That's the big thing about the sport. The referee right there.
Yeah.
One shot might get through, but the second one ain't going to. He's going to be in there. You know,
and of course that last punch that he landed was right
it was
on
a good
the
one.
bell. Right on the bell. And I
Yep.
think he was, as they say, saved by it.
Yep. And, you know, it's one thing I like about Paul's refereeing. He hovers close to the boxes and he's always there to step in. Because the most important thing is the safety of the participant. And we're really, really, really proud of our record for safety and head trauma and all that. You know, we're the safest sport around, and there's a good reason for it, because there are really good systems in place. Because it is quite a hard sport. You know, the idea is to box, but quite often, you know, as boys be boys and girls be girls, it gets into a bit of a knockout, bit of a bang bang, and so you got to monitor it. You know, you got to keep an eye on it.
Bit of a brawl going in the third and final round between Edward Richards and Kyan Mooney. Both these boys, as I say, are not going to be mucking around. 2 minutes to prove themselves. We landed a nice right-handed there. A little elbow.
A little bit of stick there.
So the Canterbury chant starts again. And they'll do this probably close to about the full 2 minutes. Referee just saying, come on guys, it's getting a little scrappy here. Stop pulling him in, stop dropping that shoulder. He's caught him.
Very good ref.
Yeah, Ryan Mooney twice have seen that elbow just drop down that little bit of catch Edward.
And he's holding on
the
to
chin.
it too.
Yeah. We're trying to close the space down.
Hit and hold.
Missed with that uppercut. Tried it. Yeah, the boys are giving him encouragement now to say, look, come on, you've got him.
Yeah, the Canterbury boys, his strength is just coming through.
Referee saying, come on. There's 10 seconds to go. I think I heard the clap over the noise of the Cantabrian supporters, which I'm not going to knock, not one little bit.
Not your long 10 seconds, though. You've got another 30 to go, mate. Oh, no. That cord is head up in the air.
It's another standing count. We'll be looking very closely at this young fella, making a decision whether he's going to get to 8 and call it. He's going to say,
he's aware the round's late,
are you
so
ready to
you'll
go?
know it'll be stopped. But, you know, they'll know the bell's going to go in a minute, so let him finish on his feet.
That was full on. Great bout between Edward Richards in the blue corner fighting for Canterbury Boxing Association and Kyan Mooney from the Manawatu.
Yeah, Ed was just a bit strong.
Yeah, you'd have to say, though, that that was definitely Blues match.
Yep. But still, it takes a lot of courage, you know, for Kyan just to get in there to start with, you know.
Yeah.
He held his own.
Well, you know, Edward's done 30 bouts compared to 22 with Kyan.
Yep.
So, yeah, I still would... we've talked about it before, Steve. There's a cup of tea on it. But we'll just head down to Danny Jonas to give us the announcement of this bout.
And ladies and gentlemen, we have a unanimous points decision. The winner fighting out of the blue corner, Edward Richards.
No, well, that went the way in which we sort of perceived it would. But it didn't disgrace himself in any way, shape or form.
No. Oh, it's just the courage to get in there, you know. It's a big thing to get in that ring and expose yourself to the whole wide world, you know. There's 4 corners, but you can't hide in them.
So Danny's just announced the next 2 coming in. It's Tyrone Dayton up against Xavier Connolly. So again, these are 2-minute rounds. So we'll head down to Danny Jonas to introduce our boxers.
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen, bout number 3, 3 2-minute rounds. And we have, fighting out of the red corner, Xavier Connolly. And Xavier's opponent, fighting out of the blue corner, Dayton Kawa.
And Dayton Kawa is boxing for the Tamaranui Silverbacks Boxing Academy. And Xavier is another Cantabrian, so the boys have actually started their sort of prelim. They're getting more boisterous as they go, Steve.
Yep, they'll keep winding up, don't worry. I've seen their rugby their rugby crowds.
Both weigh in at 70 kg. Dayton says his style is universal, where Xavier, I love the way they write this, is aggressive counterpuncher, so he's not scared of probably getting one on the chin and coming back.
Yep, you never know, yep. And these are juniors, of course, so they're solid boys for juniors.
Just getting their final instructions. And again, 3 2-minute rounds. This is bout number 3 on the card. Now there's a huge difference between the number of bouts that Dayton Kawa in blue has had 59. This is his 60th fight. And he's up against a rather inexperienced fighter with Xavier Connolly. He's only had six bouts.
Yep, Xavier will be well coached though. He comes from Canterbury, the boys, they turn out very good, the boxers from there, and so I wouldn't be too worried about that.
A bit nervous about the way he's keeping his hands a little low though.
Well, we'll find out if he pays the price.
Just look at that right arm, it just down. But as he say, he's aggressive, so maybe
he just wore one then. If you expose your chin like that, it's going to get hit, as simple as that. The idea is to get your mitts up there and block the punch or slip the punch, get under the punch. But if you're going to expose your chin like that, then inevitably it's going to have something sitting on it, like that again.
Xavier's getting told, just be careful of that forearm. Young Dayton Kawa is Manawatu champ, Hastings, of course, North Island champ, Golden Gloves champ, Nationals champion in 2020.
Yeah, good Tamaranui boy too, from the middle of the island, out in the good country.
Probably worked out in the shearing sheds as well in the back of Tamaranui.
Never know, mate.
Yeah, both these boys, as I say, weigh in at the same weight and almost the same height as well. So very evenly matched. Xavier Connolly from Canterbury. As I say, he is the least of the experienced of the two boxers at the moment.
He's getting a bit of instruction from Mark Fuller. Mark is a very, very good coach and also one of our other New Zealand selectors.
Young Dayton was saying earlier that he wants to be a world champion. There you go. That's his dream.
Well, he's going to have to put his head down, but hey, it's there for everyone. If you want it bad enough.
Bad enough, you go for it.
You go for it.
Seconds are being called out here at the National Junior Cadet Champs for 21-22. Brought to you by Sky Sport Next from the Jubilee Stadium here in Wanganui. As the chant for the Canterbury, Xavier Connolly starts again. What do you think of his style of Xavier from Canterbury with that left hand as well? See, it's...
Yep. Yeah, he's carrying the hands very low and out from his body, so it exposed your chin like that all night long. You know, but that's his inexperience, you know, and if our blue man, Dayton, he'll capitalise on that all night.
Nice little uppercut from Dayton. Huge amount of energy these guys are expelling in a very short period of time. I'm leaning towards young Dayton in blue.
Yeah, I would have thought with his experience he'd be doing a little bit more, but he's probably thinking of the next bout, hoping just to win, you know, get through this one. Without too much damage.
You mean in his work rate, or?
Sorry?
Yeah, you mean as far as the work rate that he's putting in?
Yeah, I feel he's hanging off a bit. I mean, he's got the experience, but he's not really making the most of it. But the idea is to get the win, move on to the next round.
Oh, a lovely right hand there, he landed it. Smack flush. We've talked about it before, Steve. I know that the camaraderie between these two boys, I mean, they'll try and beat each other senseless tonight, but they'll be best of mates tomorrow. Or in 5 minutes after getting out of here.
It's an endearing sport. You leave a bit behind with each other. You know, you do. You try and knock the stuff out of each other for a while there, and then and as you get older, you might go and have a beer together. These boys may have a cup of tea, if they're all right, you and I. You know, but no, you make this is so close to the sport. It's a big family, and that's the wonderful thing about it. You know, it's a very close sport, and great people in it.
There all the time, David.
Eddie Perez, Charlie Perez in the corner there from the Wanganui.
Yeah, he's the head coach.
Yep.
So we're getting ready for our final 2 minutes. This is Dayton Kawa in the blue corner up against Xavier Connolly in the red, fighting for Canterbury. And the Canterbury supporters are starting to wind up Xavier and saying, come on. Again, it's one of those ones I'm finding, Steve, hard to sort of read. But as you say, the experience.
Yeah, I'd be having a little word with them in the corner, though.
Lovely.
Just saying, look, mate, you know, don't muck around in this bout. You've still got to make it appear you've won it, clearly, you know, so don't give this guy an inch. And at times, Dayton's letting Xavier in.
I don't know if he was looking at the referee for something at that point, but... we count down the last minute of this bout. These are the junior males, 70 kg. Young Dayton Kawa from Tamaranui for the Silverback Boxing Academy.
Boys are exchanging a few words there, probably just passing notes, you know, addresses and things.
You forgot to bring me an Easter egg. Bang.
See, this is what's happening, you know, the inexperienced boy is actually working his way back into it a little bit.
Yeah, well, the Canterbury contingent certainly provide a great vocal support. Nice little flurry at the end by both boxers, actually.
Yeah, it was a good little round, and a good round by Red coming back a little bit, you know. I mean, I don't see him winning the decision, but he got into it.
Well, he's only been boxing, just over a year and a half. Favourite boxer is Roy Jones.
Oh,
that's
okay. Oh, Roy. Yep. Well, he's getting on now. That is a little bit of a problem with the sport, actually. We do tend to... the kids watch all the pros, watch the pros, but the problem is this sport is not pro, and we don't box like pros, and unfortunately they don't watch a lot of amateur boxing, and that's what they've got to do if they want to learn how to be up on the world scene.
As I say, the winner of this is going to have another bout this weekend. So we'll just head down to Danny Jonas and let's find out what the judge's decision is.
Ladies and gentlemen, we do have a decision. The winner by a split decision, fighting out of the red corner, Xavier Connolly.
There you go. Now Xavier Connolly,
well, that's probably what we were talking about.
Yeah, 6 bouts up against another boxer who's done 60. So he never gave up.
Well, he let him in, like I said, hey, you can't take this lightly, if you think you're going to cruise through the finals by, taking your first bout lightly, we've got to win the damn thing if you want to move through.
It's great. It's great amateur boxing, though.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, it's good to see a little bit of upset like that. I mean, I didn't quite see it that way, but I'm not a judge.
So we'll get into our bout number 4. This is a middleweight for the 70 kg. So we'll head down to Danny Jonas for the announcement and introduction of our next 2 boxers.
Ladies and gentlemen, we now move on to bout number 4. And fighting out of the red corner, Ula Meleula. And fighting out of the blue corner, Kara Foriro.
So both these boxers probably know each other well. They're both out of the Auckland Boxing Association.
Yes, Kara is a very experienced boxer, but Mela Ula is coming on very strong, and she's not going to be outclassed here.
So Kara is, again, as we said, she's with Nabby's Boxing, and Meli Ula is from the Art of Boxing in Auckland. So both these boxers will be called to the centre of the ring, get their final instructions. So we've got 3 3-minute rounds with these.
Yep, this is elite female, 3 3s. They've got to do what the boys do.
Kara's described his style as swaggerlicious.
Okay.
And
sounds like a lollipop.
Yeah, I was going to say, and then is scientific, but I'm going to struggle with this swaggerlicious.
Oh, she's painting her own picture.
Now, we don't know what Melia Ula is, the number of bouts she's got, but Kara has had 70. She's a 4-time New Zealand champion in the 64 kg weight, so highly experienced.
Melia has had very few bouts, but they have met before, and I have the feeling that she gave Kara one heck of a run. I'm not quite sure whether she won or not, but she's a strong girl.
Kara's got a nice stand side position. She just sort of holds it there, sort of narrowing the target zone down a lot.
Yep. Boxing.
She's only got a couple of centimetre extra in the reach over Mealy. But I'm sure these girls have probably met before, both boxing out of Auckland, so of course into gym, sparring sessions and the likes.
You'd expect Kara to be able to outbox her, but you don't know how it's going to go. You don't know how this one's going to go because this girl is pretty good, the girl in red.
I'm sure you're enjoying the coverage brought to you by Sky Sport Next out of the Jubilee Stadium here in Wanganui. This is our first of our female bouts. I actually think it's our only one for today's or the evening session here. And Kara holds her hands down very low as well. leaves herself a little bit open.
Yep. Ooh, she ran onto one then.
Slight little wake-up call.
Yeah, well, you're running with your chin. You know, you're probably going to end up with something on it.
So Cara is coached by Dion McNabney. Bit of a problem with the mouth guard, as you keep saying. Safety paramount.
Yep, put it back in, clean it up. Or clean it up, put it back in first, I hope. Yeah, you could have squeaked that one to blue, but it's, you know, it's certainly not, the fight bout's not over yet.
Oh, Amelia Ulo's has handled herself exceptionally well. She's quite happy to stand toe-to-toe and actually go for it.
For what you'd consider a novice boxer, I think she's got a lot of potential.
Now, as I say, we're not able to tell you how many she's had, but Cara has had 70, so I don't know how she fits the time, and she's not only a mother, but she's also a primary school teacher. I think she's got the class under control. What do you do, miss? I'm showing my age here, but I was at college in Nelson.
1941?
Yeah, 1840. But we had the old boxing situation, a thing called New Boys Gym, and prefects used to come and deal with you if you stepped out of line very quickly.
Yeah, the old prefect. Yep.
Yeah, I'm still thinking Cara's just keeping that nice poise to that, closing down the amount of punching room she's opening up.
Yeah, she's using a distance reasonably well.
And just as we say that, she steps in and goes, here's another one for you.
Yep. Well, she's getting a few in, no doubt about that. She's scoring.
So a small little break for a chin strap to be fixed up. There's a couple of bouts coming up shortly. Wendell Stange, a name I remember from 18 months ago when we last there. He boxed very well.
Yes, Wendell's a good boy. He just come back from Thailand. Lost a fairly disputed decision, to be honest. But ring rust was a bit of a cause of that too. But Wendell was a little bit unlucky to lose.
Just over a minute and a half to go in the second round. The problems with these. And it's not just. I think as soon as the girls. And it goes with guys with the longer hair as well. It tends to sort of allow that headgear to slide down over their eyes, and that is just a problem.
You can't re-tighten the headgear hard onto the skull, And of course, they're not familiar with the headgear. It's tournament headgear, so it's all the high-spec stuff. But and so, they're probably not familiar with it and nailing it down properly and fitting properly.
It might be just a technical question here, but why can't they have their own headgear, even if it's...
they have the option. They have the option.
Oh, they do?
Yep. But no, I mean, look, we're not a rich sport, A lot of gyms, can't afford to spend the money on expensive headgear, especially for the nationals. You want something really flash and tidy looking. And so the event organisers provide the headgear, and a lot of boxers are tempted to wear it because it is quite new, it's well looked after and looks the part.
So this is round number 2 with just over 45 seconds to go. In the blue corner, a very, very experienced boxer in Cara. He's had 70 up against Maligula. who is...
See, Manly gets the occasional one in, you know.
It was a lovely overhead.
Yeah.
So again, mouth guard out. It's also a sign of they're breathing hard. Trying to get some oxygen in those legs.
I get annoyed when the mouth guards keep coming out. You're meant to clamp down on the blooming thing. It's part of the safety system. Of course, they start breathing out of their mouth, and they catch a loose shot, you know, and out comes the mouth guard.
Just the 10 seconds to go for round number 2.
Oh, that's an interesting round. There wasn't a lot in that.
As I say, the inexperienced fighter, that's our lady in red, Mile Ula. She put her back on the ropes on that punch as well.
Yeah. It's the clean scoring punches too. They're what the judges see. And that's what the sport is about, you know, clean scoring punches to the scoring area. I think Dion will be giving Cara a little bit of a tickle up. Just letting her know that, hey mate, you know, this is pretty close, and you make sure you put it beyond doubt.
So seconds have been asked to exit the ring as we head into our final 3 minutes. Up against Cara Whanerau, up against Mile Ula in the red corner. And I think she would have been told, hey, look, you know, you may not be that far behind on points, so let's go for it.
Yeah, she's got a chance. So Jack, our referee.
And I'm sure that people who are watching on Sky Sport Next, if they're involved in any sort of event, a big shout out has got to go to these volunteers here in Wanganui putting this event on. Stadium is fantastically appointed.
Oh, Eddie and Sandra have been amazing, and all the helpers and that, all the Wanganui crowd, they've been amazing. Nothing is too much trouble. And once more, it's just jump in with the family and away we go. These events now are getting easier and easier to run because we work together. And it's just, people, what do you need doing? We'll sort it.
So our next bout, we still head into the light middleweights. Always get an extra kg on them. So if somebody is interested in getting their kids into boxing themselves, just go to the website of New Zealand Boxing and
yeah, go to the website, you get a list of the gyms and the areas they're in, associations, and if you can't find the information you want, just ring Boxing New Zealand, and our man in the office, Paul, will give you all the information you need. It's a great, great little sport. I wouldn't be in it if it wasn't. And these kids, the young people are what make our sport. You know, they're really decent, good young people. And of course, you have all the drug testing programs too, though. We're very aware of that. So these kids are pretty clean living.
So within the last minute of this bout, which is the light middleweight women's 70 kg. 40 seconds to prove yourself now.
Well, it's close. It's a very close bout now.
I just feel like Mile Ula is being more of the aggressor.
Yeah, she's tough.
And she's...
that was two. They're scoring punches.
She may have just turned this around in the third.
Oh, it's going to be a tough one to judge. she's getting the cleaner, more visible shots.
Absolutely, you're watching
You know?
that. And explain to us how that works. I mean, basically, you clear any head movement indicates that you've actually connected reasonably well.
Yeah, the force of the punch technically means nothing. It's the placement well, it's not a punch, it's a blow. And so it's how you place the blow to the scoring area, how you work the round around, how you work the bout, and sometimes it can be a little bit of bluff in it, you know. And but generally, it's the person who accumulates the most points through the scoring blows to the scoring area.
Yeah, well, it would be a bit of a turnaround if you look at this at the moment, because she's got Mele Ula has had 5 bouts up against Akara with 66, both sort of exactly the same weight. So you're willing to put... No, we won't.
It'll be close.
It'll be close. We'll find out right now. We'll head down to Danny Jonas, our ringside announcer, to update the winner.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a winner. The winner by split decision, fighting out of the red corner, Mele Ula.
We got that right.
Amazing. No, she... unfortunately, Cara didn't make the most of her experience. You know, Mele's a tough girl, but you got to box smarter.
Absolutely awesome. Now, of course, the one thing with Sky Sport Next is don't blink, because it's all over. Because the organisation that these guys put together, you literally within a minute of those announcements just being made, we're back into it again. So the next lot of boxers have been called to the ring. These guys are light middleweight. They're 3-minute rounds. They weigh in both at around 70 odd kg. And Xavier is a very tall unit, and you'll see that, of course. So we'll head down, and our ring announcer will introduce you to our next 2 boxers.
Ladies and gentlemen, bout number 5, 3-minute rounds. Fighting out of the red corner, we have Wendell Stanley. And Wendell's opponent fighting out of the blue corner, Xavier Marafa Ekanafo.
Our run sheet doesn't give us a lot of information.
Yeah, I think we've a little bit of false information, to be honest with you.
That's all right. We'll follow it this way.
Yep, we'll
so Wendell in the red corner.
And sorry, I've been thrown out of... Xavier. Yep, righto. Okay. Now, this will be an interesting bout too.
Yeah, Wendell is a very, very tall unit.
Yes, and Wendell he has fought international before. He knows what it's about. And I expect to see Wendell improving, because he's very good potential. But Xavier's not going to let him off hook lightly. Don't worry about that.
Now, just to explain to our viewers on Sky Sport Next, they're not wearing headgear.
No, elite boxers. The world body, IBA, has done numerous medical studies. They claim that the headgear does not benefit or detract from head injury or whatever in elite boxing. And so it's... I don't think it's even optional. I don't think you can wear headgear. Part of that was a little bit of a ploy to align more with professional boxing as the sport becomes a feeder to it, because IBA were running semi-professional competition for a while there, and they intend to try and do it again.
Yeah, well, Xavier appears to just be a little bit more solid, but he's got to deal with that reach that Wendell's got.
Yeah, Wendell's actually got a bit stronger too in the last 12 months or so. I've noticed that, you know, and so if he uses his reach and throws those nice, straight, clean, crisp punches, then he should be fine. But hey, Xavier might decide he's got other ideas.
So during the weekend, we are joined by a number of different people to facilitate and help us in the commentary side of things. We've got Ryan Henry, who's from the Otago region. He's one of the selectors, one of 4 selectors that are here at the Jubilee Stadium in Wanganui for the Commonwealth Games, which is coming up in July, end of July through August.
We've been allocated 6 spots. David Neka will be guaranteed 1 spot because of past performance. And even though David's fighting pro, the rules allow for him to box at the Commonwealth Games. And so hopefully we can fill another 5 spots, but really it's going to be a bit of an ask because we've been starved of international competition. And it could be a long, hard argument with the NZOC to get these boxes through. You know, they make the final decision. We put the boxes up, and then we have to argue their case. And part of the criteria is that they must be capable of a top 6 finish.
So with the, I hate the word now, COVID and the lockdown periods we've had, because traditionally there's been quite a number of boxers from Australia who have come over and competed, and vice versa, we've gone over and competed there. That must limit it down a little bit more as far as time in the ring, quality of boxer. No disrespect to the opposition in New Zealand, but going up against somebody internationally.
You know, we're a small country in boxing standards, and we need our bigger neighbour Australia, and we have a very, very good relationship with them. But just recently, now things are starting to open up. We've got an invitation for a big club tournament over there. Ireland's coming over, so we're going to try and encourage our guys to get over there and get amongst it.
So Wendell Stanley in the red, of course, boxing out of the Auckland Association under Rebels Boxing.
Yeah, Lance, old Lance, everyone knows Lance. He's a previous professional boxer and an identity in the world of boxing.
I think these boxers are very evenly matched.
Yeah, I felt that Wendell could box a little bit better, to be honest. But hey, you know, Xavier's no blimmin' mug. Don't worry about that.
Referee just explaining, don't put your opponent under your arm and hold them there for an extra couple of seconds because it drains them out. Oh, nice little right upper.
Yeah, they're not allowed to lean on their opponent.
A couple of nice body shots from both boxers. Bit of give and take.
Yeah, there's a bit of a pop shot one.
Just can see Xavier just wore a nice little right hand. I'm just concerned that he's lowering himself down a little bit too low, and he's just allowing those punches to come over the top.
Yep, and Wendell's sort of dropping the hand over and holding him down a bit too, so, you know, when he does that, so causes the referee to break it. Tell him to stop and sort the holding out. Keep your head up.
Just over a minute of round number 2 to go. Xavier in blue, and of course Wendell in red. Xavier boxing for the Central North Island.
This is a very close bout.
Definitely standing toe to toe. They're not.
Yeah, Xavier's replying. Yeah, he's giving him. He's replying to everything he's getting coming his way.
Neither boxer. I mean, you sort of feel that Wendell is coming forward a little bit more, but Xavier's just standing there saying, "Okay, if that's the best you've got, here, take one of these."
And that's the problem. I'd like to see Wendell be going backwards and using that hiding, using that reach, and boxing the guy instead of fighting him.
Nice overhand right
Yep.
from Xavier. But as you say, he's definitely, in the last 10 seconds, coming through.
Xavier's fighting a good bout.
Both boxers happy to go toe-to-toe. This is where I just feel that Xavier's just dropping himself down again, and just in that moment that he's down and coming back up again, Wendell's able to connect with him. Might have taken exception to that last little flurry, but
I think Xavier just slipped one in there, just on the barrel. Why not? Oh, Rex Jenkins in the corner. Rex is one of our kamatua in boxing, very much an icon, and trained more than 80 New Zealand title holders. I think it was 86 or something. He was telling me the other night. Absolute stalwart of the sport, and does amazing work with the young kids in the Rotorua region.
So we're into our final 3 minutes. This is of the light middle 70 weight. I've got a funny feeling, unless something dramatic happens in the next 2 minutes and 30 odd seconds left, this could be another split decision. And
I'm struggling with it. Yeah, I'm struggling to separate it at the moment.
Now, a lot of people sort of say, Steve, it's not always a nice left hand thrown by Wendell, which connected.
Well, this is where Wendell should step up now. He should put the motor in drive and make it start happening.
There's no points in being the aggressor, it's just whether or not you can score at the same time.
Exactly. I wish I could see a bit more of that jab from Wendell.
But he's got the reach. He's just getting in there and raw. Sure, sitting at watching here at Sky Sport Next, you're enjoying.
This is a very good bout as far as entertainment. You know, it's a close bout.
And there's plenty more to come here at the National Junior and Cadet Championships. Now remember to explain it in the next bit with the reason it's 21-22.
You got it in there.
He wore that.
Well, that body shot just may have slowed him up a bit, I think.
Oh,
hey, come back.
Lovely right hand. With his left hand he connected beautifully. I'm definitely going to make you make a prediction, Steve, at the end of it. I know which way I'm leaning.
I'm seeing that a taller man not using the ring and playing to the advantage of a shorter guy who's fairly strong on the inside. But hey, you know, oops. Did I tell you about that hybrid sport we've got, mate? And a bit of wrestling with it. You know, if you're just trying something, adding to it,
just something, Xavier connected beautifully with Wendell's face. Waiting for that 10-second clapper to go. Yep. This is it.
Now they'll go.
Just trade punches. I feel in the last 2 rounds, Xavier's. I'm actually going to go blue on this one.
No, I wouldn't
it'll be split.
argue either way. Yeah, it's a very difficult one to score. There's quite a lot happening in there, eh? And the old judges have to be very focused on this one, you know, which they will be. But you may see a mixed bag on this one.
So our next one, of course, is another light middleweight. Fighters both at the centre of the ring. And we'll head down to our ring announcer, Danny Jonas, to give us the results.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a unanimous decision. The winner fighting out of the red corner,
Got that.
Wendell Stanley.
Got that wrong. I thought it would be split. I didn't think it was unanimous.
I thought it was very close.
You are the president of Boxing New Zealand,
But
Steve
I'm not a
Hartley.
judge. I'm not a judge.
But I will bow to your wisdom and knowledge.
Yeah.
So as I say, we have another light middleweight. 3 3-minute rounds coming up next.
Yeah, this will be an interesting bout too. You know, young Harley Van Woolraven against Tawhiri. Oh boy,
Tarahiri.
Tarahiri.
So we'll head down and we'll get Danny to introduce our next two boxers.
Ladies and gentlemen, we move on to bout number 6 of the evening. Fighting out of the red corner, Harley Woolraven. And Harley's opponent fighting out of the blue corner, Tawhiri Hallett.
I love the way these, as I say, these boxers describe themselves. Tarahiri is, he calls himself, his nickname is the Grizzly Stallion. He's out of the Mayhem Boxing.
And the next world champion of the world.
That's what he says.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Well, actually, we better say it properly that he liked to thank his mum. Big
yeah.
shout out to his mum for raising the next champion of the world. So, Mum, we're watching and thinking of you.
And keep on the track, Mum.
Now, he's had 47 bouts up against Harley, who's had just 15. So you've got to be looking to blue at the moment.
Yeah, Harley's pretty sharp. This will be an interesting bout. Don't worry, it'll be interesting.
Nice head movement from Harley. He's a bit, little wooden. Slight windmill with that punch. It just went straight over the top.
Just worry about the way Harley drifts towards the right hand. And if Tawhiri lets it go, he could catch him with it. Yeah, there it is there. I mean, if he's moving towards it, you might as well let it go.
I like the way he's got his guard up too.
Yep, tidy.
Sky Sport Next coverage coming to you from the Jubilee Stadium here in Wanganui. And again. That right hand just coming over the top.
Yeah, I think his corner will give him some instructions to peel off the right shoulder, move away, at least away from that right hand, peel off the left.
Tawhiri is stalking Harley really well. He's been told to keep your head up. Harley, please. But you're right, Tawhiri is able to get over the top of Harley's left arm. He's just...
Yeah, he's still moving towards it. And then left arm drops down and overcomes the right hand.
Yeah, again, it's happening.
And he's figuring it out too. You know, if you're feeling the punch coming on the left or the right side of your body, then you move away, opposite direction, move away from the thing and take it away a bit.
His eyes are fixated on that left side of that.
Oh, he's
chin.
focused, he's focusing. I like that. Both boys are really sharp on the focus. It is a little bit of a chess match, this one, and it's quite enjoyable to watch it.
Hartley's probably felt that that first round didn't go quite to plan.
Yep, the coach will probably make a couple of adjustments, and we'll see what he comes out of the corner with next.
Both these boys weighing in at 71 kg, or just a fraction under.
There's Dion McNabbie in the corner, giving Harley a few pointers.
A couple of deep breaths as well as these boxers prepare for their round number 2. As I say, we've got a full program over this weekend, which you can enjoy on Sky Sport Next. And a bit of a shout out too for our camera and production crew. Getting great visuals coming back. You've got to be careful. He's going to... I'm just really watching Harley's arms just dropping too much.
Yeah.
He's opening up that chin of his.
You have to learn the hard way.
He's able to get that right hand over the top of that with his jab. Tawhiri is absolutely, a lovely straight jab with the left.
This is a good contest, you know. It's sort of there's quite a bit going on, especially, you know, they're still trying to figure out each other, look for the spots.
Yeah, but that connection then just on the right, Tawhiri managed to fit it through.
Yep. And a bit of a left hand there of some sort. Well, that was a sneaky uppercut. That was I hated uppercuts. I did not like uppercuts.
I don't like being punched, full stop. What is it, you didn't see it coming? Or just...
been a bit shorter, and then most other guys I fought, you know, we tended to come, and I was more of an inside boxer than an outside, and of course, the taller guy would bring the hand up underneath.
And rule number 1 in boxing, never turn your back on your opponent.
Yep. Really.
But it must be hard. But again, it's something you train out of.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Yep. Old toe get amongst them, just give them a few more instructions. He's a good referee, Toe. Lets him get on with it. You know, some referees may jump in a little bit too much, but the idea is to try and keep it as clean as possible, but also give him a good chance of making it an event.
Yeah, box it out as opposed to...
box it out.
Yeah, leaning a little bit onto, as I was saying earlier, I think Tawhiri is, to me, just scoring well. And I don't think Harley's boxing badly. It's just the fact that he's just allowing those punches to come through.
Yep.
Because he's got that left hand. It's just down a little bit too low.
There's a little bit of experience difference here too.
Yeah, well, 47. Yeah, Tawhiri's had 47 bouts up against Harley, who's just had 15.
Yep.
But in saying that, he's not disgracing himself in any way, shape or form.
No, he's still in the bout.
So we have a number of, we've got another, we jump up a weight level next into the middleweights. It's coming up next. So this is the third and final round. At the moment, leaning a little bit towards Tawhiri.
Yeah, and Harley still hasn't learnt to move away from that right hand, so we may see a few more getting through.
Thought he was about to hit the cameraman for a minute.
Look, we're blessed with this camera crew. Peter and his boys, they do a terrific job. They really make the camera work go well. You know, it's like you're in the bout. It adds a whole new dimension to it than just a static camera somewhere. So we must really thank them for the work they do.
We forgot to mention they're all good looking. Oh, sorry.
Well, better looking than you.
That was scripted.
Oh, that was scripted.
Yeah,
Sorry,
that was
I meant to read that one through.
You missed that line at the bottom. I'm bringing you these fantastic visuals from the Jubilee Stadium here in Wanganui on Sky Sport Next. Just over a minute and a half to go. Harley's not taking a back step. I'll give him that. He's happy to go forward.
He's tough.
But again, he drops that left hand and overcomes that right from Tawhiri.
And Tawhiri's got it timed now. He's got it timed.
Stalking him.
That's the thing about boxing, you know. It takes a couple of rounds sometimes to get your timing, and you know, it sort of comes naturally with all those hundreds and thousands of rounds that you spar and the bag work and that, and your timing slowly comes on during a bout, because every style's different, and each boxer, you know, will be coming from different little angles and that, so it takes a bit of feeling out. Unfortunately, you've only got 3 rounds to get on with it too. Oh, that was a good shot. A little bit of tit for tat, but Harley's probably slapping a little bit with that right hand like that. You know, you've got to punch with the knuckle part of the glove, not the inside of the glove.
Keep your head up. Stop leaning forward. Oh, he connected nicely with that left.
Yeah.
Starting to tie now with just under 30 seconds to go in this third and final round. Tawhiri Hallett out of the Mayhem Boxing. And of course, Harley with Abby's.
Just a little bit exposed with the chin, Harley, the way he's waving his head around. But hey, he put up a very good fight.
Just before the bell rang, mouthpiece popped out, but with just a second to go, I think the referee said, no, we've seen enough. Let's just call that a day.
Yep.
So it must have been quite difficult for you, Steve, with all the boxing being delayed because of COVID now to try and do a catch-up, which is why we're explaining that we might say the 2021, now we had 22, but this is for the titles for 2021.
Yep. Yeah, no, it's been hard on the whole sport. You know, many events have had to be cancelled because we've had shifting around with the regulations and that, and it's made it very hard. The reduction in crowd numbers and that.
So we'll head down and find out who took out that bout with Danny Jonas.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a split decision. And the winner fighting out of the blue corner, Tawhiri Hallett.
Well, they got it right, but probably not a split. But the thing is, too, you know, there's 4 angles to that bout, and we're seeing it from one. Well, with a good camera work, we're actually getting a couple more in, but anyway, it's difficult to score it all one way when you're looking from 4 different positions. Or 5, actually. There's actually 5 scoring judges.
Yeah, so we're heading into our second of the our first of our middleweight, 75 kg. So we'll head back down to Danny, and he can introduce you to the next 2 boxers.
Ladies and gentlemen, we move on to bout number 7, a middleweight, 75 kg, three-minute rounds. Introducing out of the red corner, Tyson Pedersen. And Tyson's opponent fighting out of the blue corner, Colton Seymour Moore.
So Tyson Pedersen is out of Eastside Boxing out of Waikato. He's had 27. In fact, both boxers coming up. Colton at Seymour Moore has had 27 as well. He's out of Moana Boxing, the Kirikiriroa Boxing.
Yep, so these boys know each other.
Colton represented New Zealand at the Oceanic as a youth.
Yep, they're good boys. Tyson, he's a good tidy boy, and Colton, of course. Well, they're both the same. They're both very similar, as you'll see.
As we say with these young boxers, we always love what they write down as additional information. Tyson Pedersen in the red corner said he's a mummy's boy, but Dad loves you.
And Dad's in the corner.
Dad's in the corner. That's why he probably said, otherwise you're walking home. Both boys standing at around 6 foot. Oh, it's action aplenty, getting underway with both Tyson and Colton exchanging blows.
It's good boxing.
I like how Tyson's got his hands nice and high. Something that you watch some of these boxers, and they're both very experienced young boxers. They both had 27 bouts. I like the way Tyson seems to be nice and light on his feet as well.
Yeah, well, footwork's got a lot to do with it, you know, a lot to do with it. Shift and plant, you know, moving around, peeling off the other guy, creating angles, sitting your feet on the ground when you get the punch away, then shifting.
Both these boxers within the first couple of minutes seem to me pretty evenly matched.
Yeah, I wouldn't split it at the moment. Because the hardest thing is we're watching a boxing bout and the judges are judging. And it's a totally different thing. You know, you think, oh, I'm just watching a boxing bout, I can judge it. But when you're actually judging a bout, it throws a totally different dimension onto it.
You get that situation too, Steve, where you don't realise how much energy these guys are using up in that total of
it's explosive.
Nine
explosive,
minutes, but
yeah.
it doesn't seem like much when you...
Yeah, I mean, you know, when I was playing rugby, you'd bang out 80 minutes of rugby, but you get lots of little rests. And this thing is 9 minutes of sheer explosiveness. And admittedly, you get a minute or 2 minutes, or 1 minute between one round and 1 minute between another round. But it's just enough time to catch your breath. And of course, you're trying to pour the same amount of energy output into that 9 minutes as a longer duration sport, you know, such as rugby, you know. And so, yeah, these guys are giving it all they've got, and it's got to be an explosion.
So these young fellas are middleweight, so that's 75 kg. You've got Tyson Pedersen, who's in the red corner, up against Colton Seymour Moore in blue.
And these are up-and-coming boys, you know, they've just moved out of youth and into the elite. And so this is the type of boxer that is the future of our sport, you know. So the more experience they get, the more mature they get, these guys can carry on.
Yeah, well, as you say, Colton is also an ex-Golden Gloves a few years ago, he says, but and has also represented New Zealand as a youth.
Yep.
It's hard to say what you call a youth nowadays, Steve.
Yeah, well, some of our junior boxers are bigger than our seniors. So the young ones are growing real big.
Unfortunately, it's nothing to do with the production at all, but when we're sitting, we can actually still hear through our headsets some of these punches that these boys are landing.
Yep. Of course, the beauty too is the technology in the gloves, the fibre and the construction of the gloves now is a little bit different to the old horse hair we used to have in the old days, and you can work it away from the knuckles and end up with just a nice bit of leather there. And but these gloves are high tech, you know, and they absorb a lot of the impact, and they place more emphasis on, they force, you know, the placement of more emphasis on scoring blows rather than trying to knock some poor guy's head off, because it's just very, very, very rare in boxing now, amateur boxing, to see a concussive blow, you know, one that's really doing damage.
So just under a minute and a half to go in round number 2 with Clayton Seymour Moore up against Tyson Pedersen in red. Of course, these boys are all looking for national titles. They don't have it for a whole year, though. That's going to be the problem, Steve, if you've got your nationals coming back in October.
Yeah, well, what we're looking to be honest, is further down the track, is towards the Olympics. We would love to get more than a couple into the Olympics, and it's possible. It's going to be a hard road because the Olympic qualifying pathway is not fully settled yet, and there's a little bit of debate over where it's going. But these kids, what we'll be thinking, look, let's try and get this age group here coming into the seniors, 2 more years of good hard boxing, and they could be there.
Right.
And we'll do everything we can to get these kids here.
New Zealand's been represented really well at the Commonwealth Games in previous years. So maybe these 2 names you sort of keep an eye out. In fact, most of the boxers as we move through the divisions and the weights. And of course they grow as well.
That's right. Little known fact, boxing is the 8th best performing sport out of New Zealand sport at Commonwealth and Olympic level. Not bad result for a little sport. And of course we got a nice tidy bronze medal from David Naker at the last Olympics.
And yeah, looking forward to him going professional. Next question.
You put me on the spot there, mate.
I'll let you think about it for a minute.
No, I believe that David, he will be a cruiserweight as a pro, I'd assume. I liked him as an amateur. He had a perfect amateur style. The body, everything was perfect for amateur boxing. But David still will be representing us at the Commonwealth Games.
And probably, I'll probably get you to explain that too to our viewers, because everyone sort of thinks, well, hang on, you're a professional, but you're going amateur. So we'll just wait between this one and the next bout, and you can maybe just sort of in between explain how it all works. But as we say, this is round number 3. This is Tyson Pedersen in red up against Colton Seymour Moore. Pretty much evenly matched, I would have said at this point.
Yeah, there's not a lot of difference. Not a lot of difference in this at all. And sometimes you'll ask, one judge is looking for one thing, one's looking for another, and one will see it in one boxer, and the other one will see something else in the other boxer, and so it's tricky. It's tricky sometimes.
Both are showing great aggression. No one's taking that back step.
Yeah. But what I do like seeing is they're actually boxing. You know, this is a boxing match. They're trying to strike the target area without being hit back.
Both moving really freely through the ring, using all of it.
Oop. I just have the squeaky feeling that Colton may be just pulling ahead a touch. But I'm happy to be proven wrong.
Good thing is we don't have to be a judge. We can just sit here and try and work out.
We can be the harshest of critics.
I have to say, Steve, with the introduction with Sky Sport Next, I've had a number of friends of mine have decided this is a great way to watch it because they can be anywhere they like.
It's been brilliant. Sky Sport's been brilliant. We're getting a bit of exposure now. We're building views, we're building numbers, and I mean, people starting to see what the sport is about. We're separating it out from corporate boxing and professional boxing. We are Olympic-style amateur boxing. And we're damn sight more exciting than either of them. There's a lot more happening in a smaller, compressed time frame.
Non-stop boxing here with just 40 seconds to go, give or take. This is our middleweight division, 75 kg. Final flurry of 10 seconds where they make or break. Nice overhand right by Colton.
He's just getting that signature piece at the end of each flurry, that he just manages to sneak one in, and it may be enough to swing it his way.
So looking at the highlights, we're just watching, of course, our highlights package. Tyson put up against the ropes. Colton saying, not a good idea to stand there. And nice combinations there again.
Yeah. Just a couple little technical things that may be a swing at Colton's way. But both lovely young men, and we're really proud of them. They're a great image for our sport.
So the scorecards have been handed in. We'll just give our ring announcer a chance to just make sure he's got it right. No pressure on Danny Jonas. So we'll head down to Danny and he can give us the result of this bout.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner by split decision in the blue corner, Colton Seymour Moore.
Yep, I thought that's the way it went. He just seemed to be scoring. I mean, we know he's scoring well, but yeah, it just seemed to be more.
Just had that 5-10%.
That little bit of a add-on.
But a good quality bout.
So we're just checking a few things out here. I've got. So just before I think I've got it right, I'm just going to head down to our ring announcer to introduce both the boxers.
Ladies and gentlemen, bout number 8 of the evening. Fighting out of the red corner, Emil Richardson. And Emil's opponent for the evening, fighting out of the blue corner, Tom Wetzel.
So just a heads up on this one, we didn't have the right ones in front of me. My apologies. Emil Richardson. He's the Hit Fitness headquarters of Hamilton, up against Tom Westall. And of course, we've got the Canterbury boys standing at their feet, and girls, and ladies, yes, gentlemen, right in my earpiece. So we'll, I'm sure we'll hear the raucous scream to support their Cantabrian.
And this will be another close bout in the same weight as the previous bout. These are the four who are in the semi-finals. So the winner of either bout will meet each other later in the finals on Saturday night.
And Tom Wetzel from Canterbury has had 24 bouts. Emil Richardson, 59, so a little bit of a slight advantage. But nothing counts on paper. Only what happens in that ring.
It's the final result that counts. Emil's just come back from Thailand. He went along away with our team of possibles for the Olympic selection, and to get a good gauge of where we are at with international competition. He lost a close bout. Bit hard though when you box a Thailand box with 3 Thailand judges.
That's right. So both these boxers, similar height. We know they're similar weight.
20.
So there's nowhere to hide in the ring. How big is it?
Old measurement used to be 22 feet, 22 by 22, but the metrics, look, I honestly can't tell you, but it's definitely, I think, 4-point-something metres.
Yeah. And here the Canterbury
4.8, probably close to 5.
So this is the Cantabrian shout-out. And you'd like to say hello to the Papua Nui Boxing Club down in Canterbury.
Yeah, Emil's probably sitting at the number 1 spot at the moment in this weight. But hey, you know, he's not going to be given nothing.
No, it doesn't appear to be, because he's had 2 Golden Glove titles.
Right. Yep.
Had a silver medal in Poland. So he's Australasian as well.
Yes, he's boxed international.
So Emil in red. So he knows what he's expecting inside of that ring at the moment.
Yep.
And Tom's not going to give him a back foot. He's getting some nice strikes. Oh.
A little bit of a trade there. Our referee John Ensor from good old South Island, the mainland they call it, of course. John's been around many years and he knows the game. Oh, that was a very hard punch. He caught that and it hurt him.
They were in that last second, but it was those last 2 or 3 punches just before the bell rings.
They were solid punches. Good, solid punches, and caught him coming on to them.
Emil's jab's working very well too.
Yep. Yeah, but he shouldn't have been caught with that. But it happened. So yes, coach will give him a little tune-up.
Cairo George will be saying to him. So the fitness level required for boxing, simple. Look up the website for Boxing New Zealand, find a local gym nearest to you, and walk in the door. Even if you're not sure whether you want to actually get in a ring and box, the actual training can do you the wonders, just the anaerobic thing as well.
Oh yeah, hey, our sport is about get down to a gym and practice boxing. You know, just the exercise routines we go through. It's amazing for your health and fitness. And we've got 10,000 odd gym users in our sport, and we've got 700 odd actual competition participants. So there's a lot of people involved in boxing, more than over and above what you're seeing here.
I like the way that Tom Westall is actually, mixing it. He's coming forward. He's not scared.
Not scared. And those few shots he got in the other round will give him a bit of confidence.
But again, you don't want to be slugging it out, because all you're going to do is use up your energy, because you've got one very clever technical boxer in Emil Richardson. He knows, if he scores, he doesn't have to go and throw 100 punches and only score with 2.
He's picking his shots like that.
And those swing and misses that are coming out of Tom at the moment take up a lot of energy.
Oh yeah, you miss the target. You got to recover the blow. It goes right past in the arc of travel. And then you got to bring it all the way back. He's still getting his licks in, no doubt about that. Emil is probably getting caught with a few shots here that he shouldn't be getting caught with. So Tom's putting up a good battle.
Now he's been warned again. This is Emil Richardson for holding. So he's got to be careful, otherwise the referee just might turn and say, oh, there's a point.
Yeah, well, he'll warn him. He'll say, hey, mate, look, you've been doing this a couple of times now. It's trying to create an advantage for you. You get a rest period or whatever, or hit and hold. So, if you keep doing it, then we may have to take a point off. It is boxing. It's not wrestling.
Just like to see Tom just stop those haymakers that he's throwing at the moment, because you say he's using up a heck of a lot of energy.
Put a lot of energy into it. The straight, direct route is the most economical route, and it's the one that'll get there the quickest.
You can see that ring skill that Emil's got.
Tom's just opening his mouth a little bit, breathing a little bit harder, and could be slowing down.
Yeah, Tom's starting to look like his tank's just dropping back a little bit as he gets into the last 20-odd seconds of round number 2 here at the National Junior and Cadet Championships in Wanganui.
There's good action in this bout too.
Oh, that was a beautiful combination coming out by Emil. Swing and a miss. A bit like my golf.
No, it's a close, contested little bout.
Yes, so the couple more bouts to go in this evening's card, but don't forget we'll be back again tomorrow at 1 o'clock and again at 5 on Sky Sport Next and Sky Sport 3. So just waiting for the final bit.
Every day it keeps ramping up, it keeps moving up, and there'll be some junior finals tomorrow.
So seconds have been asked to exit. This is bout number 8 with Emil Richardson on the red corner up against Tom Wetstell. In the blue, 3 minutes of glory, boys. Here they go. Don't see it as a slugfest, but whether or not Emil's pure experience is going to sort of outdo the brawling approach by Tom, and I'm saying Tom's boxing well. He's tying him up.
He's boxing a spoiler bout, a spoiler fight, and that's, hey, you can't outbox a boxer, we'll spoil him, and don't try and slug it out with a slugger. Don't try and outbox a boxer, you got to find a way around things.
So there is quite a discrepancy between the number of bouts. Emil's had 59 and Tom 24. So experience is still there with Tom. It's just as he fought a technical fighter.
And of course Emil's had that international experience too. It makes a heck of a difference. And you'd expect to see it coming on now. Now we're into the third round. It's later into the bout now and halfway through, and this is where Emil should start stamping his mark on it. But of course Tom might have other ideas.
Well, he wants to make that final and have his name on it. Eric Sincock is, of course, in the corner of Tom, along with, I think it's Sam Watt.
Well, Sam was a South Island heavyweight and ex-New Zealand champion. Good boxer, Sam.
So with just on 30 seconds to go, I'm still probably leaning towards Emil Richardson in the red corner. But as I say, Tom has stood in front of him and said, I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah, he's not giving ground.
Right to the end. Slugging it out. Emil Richardson up against Tom Wetzel. So we're staying, actually we jump into the cruiserweight next, which is of course 86 kg.
Yeah, now this is a new weight. It's been added to our sport by the World Body AIBA. It's to compensate for, the fact that boys are getting bigger nowadays. And ladies too, so there's been some weight adjustments, and the cruiserweight fits in just nicely, and it pops the heavyweight up another kilo.
So all the scorecards are in. We'll head down to our ring announcer, Danny Jonas.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner by split decision, fighting out of the red corner, Emil Richardson.
Over those, but I think Tom can hold his head up, very well up against a much more seasoned boxer.
He went well. He went very well. No, Emil knows he's been in a pretty torrid bout. So good old Tom.
I'm sure you're enjoying the coverage at home or at work or wherever you are on Sky Sport Next. As our next two, this is the new weight, as we said, the cruiser. It's 86 kg. So we'll head down to our ring announcer again, Danny. We'll get to know hers.
And here we go, ladies and gentlemen, bout number 9, cruiserweight, 86 kg, 3 3-minute rounds. Fighting out of the red corner, Sahidad Gazizira. And fighting out of the blue corner, Dukan Williams.
And you can tell that Sahidad is a Cantabrian, because the Cantabrian boys and girls are already up on their feet right behind us.
And C and I will make a bit of noise too, don't worry. There'll be a few of them here.
Dukan Williams from the Central North Island. It's our first southpaw tonight, actually.
The Bruiser versus the Kid, if we look at their nicknames.
Both weighing in, as I say, right on 86 kg. Bit of a height advantage, though.
Yep, it's 5 inches in it, apparently. Doesn't look like 5 inches, but...
Dukan Williams, Central North Island boxer. He's a solid young fella.
Yep. Strong looking boy. But then, of course, it's, applying that strength into the bout. Doesn't always work.
We're very grateful to the boxers as well, providing us a little bit of background detail on themselves. The Hagedad is a builder by trade. He's fueled by, am I allowed to say this? Yes, I can. Chicken and KFC. Been boxing just 6 years and was born in Afghanistan.
And that's what we've seen change in the sport over the years. We're becoming a very multinational sport. You know, there's a lot of boys and girls from different countries now boxing out of New Zealand, you know, with our immigration policy and everything, and it's a great thing for our sport. A lot of diverse styles, and sort of, you know, you're seeing sometimes different body types, all sorts of little things there that change the sport a little bit by a little bit.
Well, Durkin Williams is actually, I've got the like a style again. He's sort of standing that side on just a little bit more.
Just trying to reduce the target area and present the left shoulder, left foot, and that way it takes away a little bit of the opponent's attack.
A lot less experience. Durkin, he's only had 10 bouts up against a fighter with 25. He's also the two-time South Island Golden Gloves Championship, along with a New Zealand Golden Gloves as well.
It's not immediately apparent on the bout, you know. It's still a lot of feeling out going on, but Canterbury's doing very well.
Big contingent come up from Canterbury, actually, when you look through the fight list over this next few days.
Yep, Holly and Mark have brought up a usual good, strong team with tidy boxes. They do a great preparation job down there.
And we've made a mention earlier, of course, with COVID, it's been hard on everyone, and now these boxers are getting the chance to sort of get sweat up in the real world. And
yeah, our concern was, you know, preparation, lack of preparation, you know, and because we've had tournaments cancelled everywhere, you know. One minute you think you're away and it's going to happen, and then a lockdown comes down in Auckland or something. So it's been hard on the young ones. So maybe the quality might be just slightly off on their peak performances, but it's still it's going to be a good event. You know, it's still good, close, contested bouts, and these kids are putting everything they got into it.
well, hopefully it's the last time we ever think of the word lockdown. It should actually be taken out of any vocabulary or anything else now.
Throw it away.
Throw it away. But congratulations to everyone who survived it and worked through it.
Yeah, it was a difficult job, difficult time for small businesses especially. Small sports and small businesses really suffer.
So this is round number 2 in the new cruiserweight division. These are both fighters on 86 kg. Durkin just looks a little bit more ripped in a sense of his physical body structure. But in saying that, Sahagedad is a strong-looking man.
You can see with a different muscle type. Sahagedad has got that flabby kind of muscle, if you excuse the word, but it sometimes it involves that fast twitch fibre, where they can ping the punches off. Where you get a muscular guy, some muscle groups are fighting against other muscles, and they can find it a little bit tough as the bout goes on, so these guys like Sahagedad, they can be very competitive. And you could say Joe Parker is of similar type of muscle structure.
I don't remember looking at the young David Tua. I mean, he was built like a Sherman tank.
Probably.
And hit like one.
David could hit like a Sherman tank. I know, after doing mitt work with him and feeling my arms getting torn off my body. And seeing his big grin on his face as he knew it was hurting me. And he's an absolute shining example of the wonderful people in our sport, David. He's an amazing guy. And he's one of the few guys, to be honest, that's put back into boxing. There's quite a few people that have done well in a professional role and moved on to bigger, the brighter lights. But David is a guy that's put back, and we really, really, really appreciate that guy.
Well, David, if you're watching, which I'm sure if you are in Auckland, you've got a few hours to make your way down here to the Jubilee Stadium in Wanganui. We enjoyed interviewing you last time you were here, and I know you're just setting up his new gym. So with a minute to go in round number 2, both these boxers, it's really hard for me to even think about where we're at as far as the points are concerned.
It's another one of those tricky bouts.
I do like the way that Duncan is coming forward. He's just quite happy to do it.
Yeah, well, I haven't been totally scoring it accurately, but our Canterbury boy, he's competitive.
You just wait for that 10-second bell, but you don't want to be turning yourself around.
No, you fight to the end.
He's branding
wait
hard.
for nothing.
Turned his head around.
Yeah, he's breathing a little bit hard and starting to swing and sort of moving off his feet. And the last round will be interesting, whether he can carry it up, carry it on and keep the work rate up, because Blue is just starting to, his strength is coming through.
I'm sure you're enjoying the coverage brought to you by Sky Sport Next here. As I say, we're at the Jubilee Stadium in Wanganui for the National Junior Cadet Championships. And these are the ones that we needed to make up because of COVID. So it is actually the 2021 competition. And then later in the year, all going well, I'm sure it's going to happen. We'll be back here again, same venue, for the 2022 Nationals. And we'll try and get some information for us tomorrow in relation to some of the other tournaments that are going to be happening around New Zealand, of course with Golden Gloves.
That's the big one for most of our boxers, Golden Gloves. It's slightly reduced experience levels in that, and the Golden Gloves title means a lot.
So this is the final 3 minutes for the new cruiserweight division. Saki Dad. Nice to be called as Saki.
Saki, yeah, that's probably, I'd say that's what most people call him.
And Dukin Williams representing the Central North Island.
Well, I think Dukin's going to have to Dukin a little bit more, to be honest. He's going to put a bit more effort in.
He's going up and then straight down to the body, working the body and then coming back up. Tell you what, he's finishing the second as the final round. Dukin Williams, he's throwing some beautiful body shots. And
strength is coming through now.
And then coming up. Trying to say, I'll come there. And then you work the body and this goes back up top again. As the Cantabrians supporters behind, literally 10 feet behind us, making themselves well and truly heard over the other crowd. His corner will be saying to him, come on, you've got a minute and a bit to go.
Yeah, another minute and 15 to go.
It looks like the mouth guard again has popped.
He caught a fairly good shot then.
So I don't know what's happening out there. Just a readjustment to the head. So we're into the final minute now. Jacob Williams has been told to just keep his head up. He's landed some absolute stunning combinations, both from going low and then just coming back up to their head.
And that's the trick. Down to the body, over the top.
He's not giving Suki much of a chance to think about it. He winds him up onto the ropes. I really like the cut of this kid. I really like the cut. I think he's, for someone who's had very little experience, this is only his 10th bout up against a more seasoned fighter. It's like Haydad, who's had 25.
He's done very well.
I'm going to say it is a split decision, but I'm going to go with young Williams, I think.
I don't know if I'll put myself on the spot here. This is a hard one to score. But I do think I could lean your way, mate.
So we have, I think we've got one more bout to go. There's been a, just don't want to say anything until I'm absolutely dead right looking down to the end. I think, looks like I've got another boxer down there. Just wait and see.
Yeah, one of our super heavyweight bouts.
So we'll head down to our ring announcer, Danny Jonas, to give us an update on who was the winner of this bout.
Yeah, round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. That was one hell of a fight. And we do have a winner. The winner by unanimous decision, fighting out of the blue corner, Dugan Williams.
Well, you're crowing now, aren't you?
No, I just felt that it was really, really close. But sort of midway through that second round, all of a sudden you could just see that he was landing the scoring punches that you keep talking about.
The strength was just coming in there, and then the other guy, you couldn't keep him off. And so, yeah, no, he deserved it.
Well, now we talk. This is what I think most people think of boxing, is these big boys. And we've got the super heavyweights. These are 92 plus kg boys. So we'll head down to our ring announcer, Danny, and he can tell us who we got.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are on the final bout of this evening. A super heavyweight, 3-by-3 minute rounds. Introducing in the red corner, Roma Crichton. And fighting out of the blue corner, Ulia Mo.
Now these are the big boys.
Yep.
Leo is out of the Shamrock Boxing.
Yeah, Blue's an experienced boy earlier.
And
he's been international. He's done quite a bit. So this will be interesting if Roma can keep on the pace.
Yeah, and we're not able to. I'm sorry, I can't give you. Roma's had 10 bouts, but we've got nothing.
Earlier's had plenty.
No, and both, I say, big units. Slight weight difference. We got one at 101. That's Rowan. And you'll hear these punches from a mile away.
Yeah, Roma will have a go. Earlier can hit. That's one thing, he can hit. Whether his conditions spot on, we'll find out.
So Terence Reid is in the blue corner along with Jen Pillay in red.
Terence Reid Bachelor. Yep, Earl's nickname is Wheels. And Wheels just put one on the nose then. Roma, he will put up a fight.
He doesn't look it though, but earlier comes in at 92 kg. Rona is at 101, so there is it doesn't look it on screen, but there's a slight different weight.
I think really is weight.
You think he's lying? Do you think he might be telling a fib?
Well, the scales are lying.
Yeah, I think he's just coming in at exactly 92 to make himself feel good.
There's not a one missing there, is there? But he's a big, strong boy. Big, strong boy. Pushing, just shoving, pushing off. Not done. Ref will give him a tickle up.
Yuli is also part of the Royal New Zealand Infantry Regiment.
And that's hard on earlier. He's got a lot of things he's tied up in with the army and that, and wild manoeuvres and that. So it's not that easy for him to get the time out to do these sort of things, with the competition and that. But all credit to him for being here. And he is possibly one of our Olympic hopefuls. Commonwealth Games hopefuls.
He's, to say both these boys are solid. He probably pushes a tank up around Waihuru for training, just for fun.
Quite possibly. But Rome is not backing off. Rome is, he's there to make a meal of it. He's going to get in there.
So we're looking at the highlights package brought to you by Sky Sport Next. Again, these punches that when they hit it, you can sort of almost feel it up here in the commentary.
Oh yeah.
So you're with us at the moment with Sky Sport Next. We will be back tomorrow and starting off at 1 o'clock. And that's that'll be session number, it must be 4. And then we'll be back again at 5 o'clock for the second session. And we'll be repeating that again on Saturday as well. So you've got plenty of live action on Sky Sport Next. And it'll also be showing on Sky Sport 3 tomorrow. And I'll be joined by a number of guest commentary. And young Isaac Savage will be flying in. So a voice and a name familiar in boxing, particularly in the Auckland region. So he's just flowing down here to Wanganui. I think he might have had to go to Palmerston and drive up, I'm not sure. But he will be here. And we'll be bringing you some absolutely spectacular boxing as we move through into the finals.
Probably not the flashiest of bouts that Earl has had, but hopefully he can put things together a bit.
Roman Crichton is out of the art of boxing in Auckland. So these boxers have probably met at different times.
Yeah, Rome hasn't nowhere near the experience of earlier, but he's not backing off on this. He's getting in and having a crack.
you know, with the heavy and the big boys, these super heavyweights, you know, everyone sort of feels it's just brawn, but actually they are still talented boxers. They've thrown their combinations, they're working themselves out. They do work the bodies hard.
Yeah, they'll see lovely body shots, you know. It's not always easy to throw a body shot. You know, you're exposing your chin. You've got to dip down over towards the body if you're throwing the left or whatever. So you're exposed, you know, and so it's an art to it. And, of course, that body shot's equal to a head shot. There's no difference in points or scoring. So you might find that Roma, he could be just piling up a few points in this one.
Just took the chin on that uppercut from Roma. Julia's using that body mass to just really lean on Roma, isn't he? He's really putting
and that's hard
to tie him out.
That's hard holding up a big guy, you know. That's hard.
Leaning on him and saying,
he's putting his weight down on your legs, you know, and you got to hold this big guy up, and you're thinking, I'm sick of this.
You see the highlights package brought to you by Sky Sport Next. These are the super heavyweights. These are 92 kg plus boxers. And I know I'm probably repeating myself, but just to keep you informed, 1 o'clock tomorrow, make sure you tune back into Sky Sport Next. 1 o'clock and again at 5 o'clock. And then again that is repeated on Saturday. And if the weather is conducive, you can just put off doing the lawns or anything else that goes on those famous things called a list of things to do. Don't. Follow the sport because it helps support boxing as well. So this is the third and final round of our last bout of this evening. And I'm definitely not even going to call this one.
It's close. It's very close.
Nice left to the chin by Julia. Julia's just using that mass body weight that he's got just to lean in on him.
Yeah, the problem is he hasn't really stamped his mark on this, you know, and that's where Roma, he's still in with a chance. And those body shots are scoring. They're scoring.
Before I forget, Julia's said he'd like to send a shout out to his mum and dad. So hi mum, hi dad. Just on that 2-minute mark to go, this is make or break for both these boxers. It's great to see the crowds, if they're not supporting one of their own boxers, that they'll get in and just, you know,
they appreciate
just
what they're seeing.
What they're watching with these two big super heavyweight boys.
A lot of them know how hard it is.
Oh, a nice little uppercut by Julia. As they say, Roma took it on the chin. And he's now following back with a couple of nice body shots too.
Yeah, that's 3 scoring punches there. There's another scoring punch.
And again, but that seemed to Roma seemed to get a good connection on that. It rocked him back a little bit. He's got to be careful with just 50-odd seconds to go.
Both boys breathing hard.
Just swing and a miss on that, and he's got to deal with it. 100 plus kg throwing you up on the rope. Referee saying, come on boys, it's been good up till now, let's not ruin it. Just keep it going. as we get into the last 20 seconds of this third and final round of the super heavyweight class. Both the, he walked into one there with 10 seconds to go.
Oh, good shot too. Well, they both know they've been in a pretty torrid bout.
A couple of massive lows, and as I say, the body shots that were being worked on. It's unbelievable that they both stood. I thought at that point one of them was going to go.
Well, they connected, didn't they? And their feet were flat on the floor when they did it. Boom.
So as we say, tomorrow, 1 o'clock, we're back on, and again at 5 o'clock. So if you missed the earlier session, 5 o'clock, go home, make yourself a cup of tea. So let's go down to our ring announcer for the last time, Danny Jonas, and let us know who took out the super heavyweight title.
Ladies and gentlemen, round of applause for these two big fellas. Man, what a fight. Ladies and gentlemen, the winner by unanimous decision, fighting out of the red corner, Roma Crichton.
Roma Crichton taking out the super heavyweight. For this bout, of course, he'll be heading through to the finals.
Well, there you go. Just goes to show that if you put the work rate in and those body shots counted, made a difference.
Makes a huge difference. Well, Steve, it's been a fun session number 3 here at the Jubilee Stadium here in Wanganui. All back again tomorrow, bright and shiny armour and ready to do it.
Yeah, hopefully I'll sleep tonight, but I get the lucky job. I can float around a bit, but I get yelled at mostly, so that's the problem. No real job, but lots of flack.
Well, on behalf of the organising committee here at the Jubilee Stadium Whanganui and our ring announcer Danny Jonas, on behalf of Steve Hartley, myself, Brent Perry, and the Sky Sport Next team, thanks very much. We'll catch you tomorrow.